Tournaments are a new system in Anime Vanguards that allow players to compete against each other in brackets in hopes of getting the best rewards possible, which is the exclusive unit that's on rotation. That can either be Mechamaru or Mahito depending on which version you're doing, and the rewards rotate every single tournament, which is nice. I think there's a lot of things that this game mode does right. Albeit this isn't a novel or new concept, Anime Adventures had this long before this game was even a thought. I still think that these guys, Anime Vanguards, they do a lot to improve on the formula that Anime Adventures set out before them. Namely the fact that we have a traitless tournament every single week, no matter what. I think that is an absolutely great addition. That was not the case for Anime Adventures. It was only sometimes where there would be a traitless version of a tournament. But if there wasn't, and the modifier was something else, well then you were just shit out of luck if you didn't have a bunch of uniques. So, the fact that there is always a free-to-play option, no matter what, is a change that I think deserves commending. I think that's definitely worth mentioning. That's a good thing. But that doesn't mean that this is a flawless system. And in this video, I want to talk about the most blatant issue that I see in tournaments, and that is RNG. If you don't know what RNG means, it means random number generated, and Layton's terms luck. Luck plays a big fat factor in these tournaments, whether you like it or not. And there is a case to be made for the tournaments actually being skill based, and I do completely agree with that to an extent. It is completely obvious that you need a good amount of luck if you actually want to get first place in some of these tournaments, and it's not even funny. Like, after playing Tournament 2 for about 3 or 4 hours, I've been doing the same runs over and over and over again. My current score is pretty ass, barely 2,000. This is really, really bad. I could easily push this up to 2,300 if I grinded some more, but I've played a tournament more than enough to be able to see how RNG plays such a heavy factor into this week's tournament, and it played somewhat of a factor in Tournament 1, but it wasn't as blatantly obvious and egregious as it is in this tournament. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to hop in the tournament, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. I've been running this tournament over and over and over again, and there are a few key factors that really influence whether you're going to have a good run or not. And if you don't have a good run, then you're just shit out of luck. You have to restart, hope that you get good RNG, and call it a day. Now, if you're good at the game, yes, if you know your placements, and sorry about that, mic cut off, but as I was saying, if you're good at the game and you know what you're doing and you have units with good stats, there is a way for you to circumvent RNG to a degree. But no matter how good you are at the game, there are some aspects of this tournament specifically that are literally just completely up to sheer chance. Like, there is just nothing that you can do about it. No matter how good you are at the game, no matter how much planning you put into your run, it quite literally does not matter. And it's two things at the very start. First one being the boss. Now, there will be a mini boss that spawns very, very soon, and it can be two things. It can be I forgot his name, the weird looking squid dude, or it can be Toji. Now, if it's Toji, that's good. That means your run is off to a good start. If it's the squid guy, bad run, you're wasting time, restart. And I know it might not seem like much, those few extra seconds that you save from not having to spend that extra little bit of time killing the boss. It might not seem like a lot, but that literally makes the difference whether you get first or second place. Right now, I got Dogen, whatever he's called. I got the bad boss. This run is already doomed from the start. If I was mid-maxing, going for first place run, I would have already restarted at this point, because the run is just suboptimal now. And I think that's incredibly dumb. I think the fact that if I get like a singular boss, it's a complete coin flip whether I get the boss that I need or not. If I don't get that boss, my run just isn't good. I think that is incredibly dumb, and I really don't think that should be the case, at least for tournaments. If you really want to dial in on the fact that these are skill-based tournaments that pit players against each other on a strategical level, why is it that there is just so much hoops and hurdles of RNG that you have to go through just to have a decent run? Also, this is another part, I'm just complaining about this. I pray to God that we never, ever, ever get another tournament on the Jujutsu Kaisen map, because this stupid Mahito train thing that spawns in enemies like from random spots, not only does that screw you over, because if you don't get a good RNG spawn, then run's over, bad run, gotta restart. The ideal spot for an enemy to spawn in is right here. This is where you want the first wave of enemies to come in. Out of all my time doing this, and I've done at least like 8 or 9 runs in total, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of runs. Also, this run is like horrible. I didn't even get a max farms by wave. Actually, no, I did. Never mind. We're still on track. But what I'm trying to say is, if the first wave of enemies from Mahito's clones don't spawn right here, you're screwed. It's over. Although you can still continue playing the run, the amount of money that you're gonna miss out on when you have to sell these guys, place them in the back, and then continue to upgrade your Chozo, because you do need to get the full AoE upgrade on them if you're trying to go later into the end game. This run, because I was recording, you know, I got lucky. I got incredibly lucky. This is my second time that I've ever gotten this enemy spawn right here. Usually I get screwed over and the enemy spawn all the way over here, and then I have to go back here, place my Vegetas, lose out on a bunch of money. This is perfect though. This is the ideal run. This run is actually pretty good, all things considered, besides getting a bad boss at the start. The fact that these guys spawn in the front, that's what you want. That is perfect, because now that gives you enough time to upgrade your Chozo to full AoE before you need to go and deal with the Toji. Because you are going to have some leaks, but it doesn't really matter, because by then you're already going to have this guy on full AoE. It's going to be max upgraded, and you have more than enough track left to place your Vegetas and do whatever you need to do. So this run was actually pretty good. I'm not going to play out this full run, because for the purposes of the video, I just want to talk about my experience with the tournament and how I just didn't like it. But this is basically what you're supposed to do. Get this guy to full AoE first. Now you sell all of your Vegetas. Sell like 2 of these guys. Go all the way over here. What I like to do, I like placing these 4. And we upgrade these 2 in the front twice. Now, just out of their range, I like placing my slow unit and my bleed unit. Now, don't take this video as a guide, because I'm doing a horrible job at showcasing the strategy. Like, if you want an actual guide, just search up Anime Vanguards Tournament Guide. Someone's going to show up, someone that's actually good at the game. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just showing you the average tournament run. And this is with everything going right. Obviously, I played a little bit sloppily for this gameplay footage, but you get what I'm trying to say. Let's go back to the lobby. Back to the topic at hand here. I feel like tournaments are just really plagued by RNG. And the fact that RNG plays such a huge factor into whether you get a good run or not, and whether you can get that high score, I feel like that just ruins tournaments. And I know there's a lot of arguments to be made against my statement. You know, you could say, oh, just keep grinding until you get good RNG. The point of tournaments is that they're supposed to be hard, and luck plays a factor into the hard process. I think that's completely dumb. If you want to design your game to have a competitive game mode, why have luck involved at such a heavy level? If there's a little bit of luck involved, sure. You know, some games have a little bit of luck involved. There's nothing that you can do about it. But this is just outrageous. This is outrageous. I should not be having to do multiple hours of runs to get a singular good run that might give me a high score. And that's if I do everything right, if I get all the right spawns on the bosses. It just really muddies the gameplay experience, in my opinion. Let me think. What are some other things that you could say against this? Well, there is the case to be made that no matter what RNG you get, it is possible for you to get at least 2,200 kills, 2,300 kills. As you can see in my leaderboard, highest score, it's not even 2,300. So this is relatively easy to beat if I really sat down and grinded. But I don't feel like I should be obligated to do the same run for hours and hours and hours on end, just in hopes that I can get that perfect run with all the perfect spawns. And that's really the gist of it for this video. The fact that luck plays such a huge factor in tournaments kind of annoys me. And I just wanted to make this video because I wanted to put out a video for today, and it's pretty easy content to make. But again, I feel like this is a genuine concern, and I really hope that the devs can sort of dial in on this in the future. I'm sure it's not an unfixable issue, the fact that a boss randomly spawns and the bosses are not equal. One of them has a lot more health than the other, meaning that you're going to waste more time. And the fact that Mahito's little train spawns enemies in random areas, no, it was cute the first time. It was a cool novelty. It was like, oh, look, he spawns enemies in random locations. I love how they innovate with every single map. But now this shit is annoying. Like, now when I'm doing a tournament and I have to run it over and over and over and over again, and I see that I'm getting screwed over by spawns 9 times out of 10, it's not fun no more. I'm not laughing. Nobody's smiling. And I know that's the case for a lot of players. I feel like I'm definitely not alone on that. Also, on the topic of new maps, how come we did not get a cool mount for Train Station? All the other maps have a cool mount, but we didn't get a cool mount for this. Like, we could have gotten Panda. You could have let me mount Panda. You know, the Panda dude from Jujutsu Kaisen. I feel like he could have been a cool mount. But we just got absolutely nothing, which I feel is a little bit disappointing. This has nothing to do with the video. I just wanted to include that in there. But before the video ends, I think that it's worth noting that you should take everything that I say in this video with a grain of salt, because I'm pretty annoyed and pissed off about the fact that I just had to sit here for like a good 3-4 hours doing runs over and over again and getting screwed over. So obviously my opinions and my statements aren't as well articulated and non-biased as I'd like them to be. And yeah, you know, you could just tell me, cope, get better. You suck at the game, play more. And although that may be true to an extent, I don't think it's an outrageous statement to say that these tournaments need a lot less RNG to make them more fair and enjoyable. Also, for the people that are saying, just get good, you're not good at the game, just play more. Like, bro, tournaments to a degree aren't even that skill-based, because everyone watches the same YouTube tutorials, myself included, and we're all just copying the same strategy with the best units. So at what point do we have to draw the line between skill and the fact that this game is just blatantly unfair in tournaments? Because yes, although skill definitely is a factor in whether you get placed highly or not in a tournament, you do need a brain in order to do somewhat well. You also need to have luck on your side, which I just think isn't fair. With all that out of the way, that's going to be it for my video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Stay tuned for more content, and we'll catch you in the next one.